All right, ladies and gentlemen. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about something that we all knew was coming. Okay. Like when the whole thing happened with Charlie Kirk and his assassination, one of the things that I mentioned from the beginning was that there's going to be people on all sides that are going to try to co opt what happened to Charlie Kirk and to push it for whatever their agenda may be. This happens every single time a major disaster hits the United States, every single time. And this is no different. We are officially back in the 90s, ladies and gentlemen, where they're trying to blame video games for everything. And we knew this was going to happen. I had mentioned it about a day or two after the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I said, I hope that all of this going down right now is not going to bring us back to them trying to blame video games, because RFK Jr. was already trying to blame video games before the assassination even happened. And after the assassination, suddenly every single shooter was a Reddit kid. Every single shooter was a video gamer, according to the boomers. Every single shooter played a ton of games that were violent on Steam. You notice how every single report that is coming out about these shooters is focusing on the games that they played, just like this one. So we got breaking news, right? And by the way, this story is being pushed everywhere. You got this story being pushed by the New York Post. Then you go here, Daily Mail, same exact thing. Look at how they word this. Dallas ICE shooter, 29, spent 17,000 hours playing video games before opening fire. Do you see how they worded this? They're trying to make it seem as if this kid was playing a video game all the way up until the point he decided to grab a gun and go shoot up some ICE people. Like this is what I mean by the level of ridiculous fucking rhetoric that they're trying to push regarding video games. And we all knew this was going to happen. Everybody knew this was going to happen. I feel like this was so easy to predict. Here we are again back in the 90s where we got damn near satanic panic happening. We got the moral panic happening. It's all over the place. But in any case, let's talk about this. So anti-ICE gunman Joshua Jen spent 17,500 hours playing violent video games, including right before the shooting. Video game obsessed gunman Joshua Jen spent almost 18,000 hours of online gaming, were largely spent in first-person shooter games aimed at killing enemies, according to his Steam account online. Again, do you see how they're wording this? Do you see how they're trying to push this nonsense? Since the account was opened in September 2011, he logged 729 days worth of video game playing, more than 2 years. That amounts to nearly 15% of his entire life, including sleeping hours, on the video game platform Steam over the course of a decade and a half. The 29-year-old, known by his online pals as Sam I Am and Frank Honecker, spent nearly 7,000 hours in the open-world survival game Rust, his online profile detail. What the? Okay, first off, he's 29, almost 30 years old. This is not a child, okay? I don't know why you're calling him, I don't know why they're calling him a kid. He's not a child. This is a grown-ass adult who decided to do this nonsense, right? And not only that, why are we bringing up Rust? What the fuck does Rust have to do with any of this? It's like these people don't even know what they're even talking about. And immediately, like, what do we... Anyway, let's continue. By the way, guys, just an FYI, you can literally leave a video game up on Steam and increase your hours played without actually playing the game. So chances are he might have left his game up AFK, just completely walked away from his keyboard, and that could have happened many times over to get all of these hours. It doesn't necessarily mean that he played this game extensively, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Then it says Rust pits players against each other to survive the harsh environment. He fixated on the 2007 FPS release Team Fortress 2, logging 3,400 hours, last playing just hours before he opened fire on the Dallas ICE facility, killing one and seriously wounding 2 others. So they're trying to say that he was playing video games up until the last moment. I guess that means that playing Team Fortress 2 for the last moment, well, that was the last straw. He had to just pick up a weapon and go do what he had to do at that point. Clearly, the video games are the problem, right? This is such fucking bullshit. The crazed shooter targeted an ICE bus that was transporting several detainees and agents into the Sally Port at the field office Wednesday morning. He killed one migrant detainee and critically wounded 2 others when he began firing wildly into the facility. No law enforcement agents were injured. Isn't that ironic, by the way? Again, this is no laughing matter. This is a really fucked up situation. But I do think there is a level of irony here where some deranged lefty decides to go and shoot up an ICE bus only for him to hit the people that he's trying to supposedly free, and the agents don't get any damage to them whatsoever. I just think that the level of irony is unbelievable here. But anyway, let's scroll down. You can look at some of the video games he played. He played Grand Theft Auto. I'm sure they're going to blame that game. Animal Revolt Battle Simulator. I'm sure he probably thinks he was a dinosaur, according to the logic of these people. Ark Survival. I'm sure he probably, again, thinks he was a dinosaur. And Sanctum 2, which isn't Sanctum 2 like a tower defense game, if I remember correctly. So the Gunman's second most played game was Ark Survival Edition, spending 3,500 hours over 140 days on the dinosaur-based survival game. I'm glad that they actually put out that it was a dinosaur-based survival game so that they can seem as ridiculous as they sound, right? You're trying to blame video games for what he's doing. And I know you're not outwardly saying that, but we all know why you're writing an article about this, because you want people to look at video games and blame them for the situation that happened, when really all it was ideology running rampant unchecked, rhetoric running rampant unchecked, somebody probably watching Hassan at this point and losing their fucking mind and deciding that they had to do this. That's really what it boils down to. Jan spent another 50 total days on the zombie apocalypse shooter Left 4 Dead. Okay, so does he think he's a fucking zombie too at this point? Unloading another 914 hours in the Physics Sandbox Gary's mod. Jan also had a total of 34 games added to his account at the time of his death. Damn. 34 games. That makes me feel I feel crazy, I guess. I have like 1,600 games on my Steam account, but okay, I suppose. He also played popular titles including Grand Theft Auto 5, Rocket League, Counter-Strike, and PUBG. Again, what are we trying to, what's the correlation? That's really what, look, he played Satisfactory. Gee, what does any of this have to do? Like, why are they going through his entire Steam account? What does this have to do with the fact that he shut up an ice truck? What does this have to do with that? This has nothing to fucking do with this whatsoever. You're going through his Steam profile. You're screenshotting all the games he played. Your screenshot is Satisfactory. What does that have to do with anything? Rocket League. What does that have to do? Did he drive over somebody with a car? What does this have to do with anything? If you scroll up, it says his profile was listed as Frank Honecker, a reference to Kurt Vonnegut's character in his satirical postmodern novel Cat's Cradle. Jan briefly played as a name Impeachment between December 15, 2019 and September 18, 2020, correlating with the first impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. So he's obviously a lefty. The anti-ice shooter was part of our 4 gaming groups on Steam, including one with only 7 other members. Fug bitches get money, as the gamers called it, mocking Jan's shooting skills after he was identified as the killer. Wait, so he got mocked. Oh, this makes it ridiculous. Wait. So he got mocked by the same people he was in a Steam group with because he failed as a shooter? That's crazy, bro. They probably told him, look, he should have hit the range a little more. One member wrote in the gaming group chat on Thursday. He missed, the user exclaimed. A third comment greeted the chat with an emoji of a red character missing its head. Jan was also awarded the Mind Blown Award on his Steam game account. What does this have to do with anything? You could get awarded rewards from literally anybody for anything. If you write a review on Steam and somebody thinks it's interesting or helpful, they can give you a host of awards. It could be fucking damn near anything. What does any of this have to do with this? You guys are searching for, like, you're grasping at straws at this point. But in any case, the FBI said he killed himself with a self-inflicted gunshot after firing multiple rounds. So, again, the guy was clearly unhinged, clearly insane, clearly not well, and this has nothing to do with video games. You can try to blame the 17,500 hours on video games, but I find it interesting that you're not monitoring how much time he watched TV. You're not monitoring how many times he went to the movies or watched movies. Why does none of that get brought up? What if the person is watching TV 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day? What's like, are you going to ever talk about that? No, of course not. Because it's always going to be video games, because that's the number one entertainment medium in the world. And that's the one that's easiest to go after because it's the biggest, right? The bigger the entertainment medium, the easier it is for them to go after it. That's why they do it. Now, if you look here on my X account, I posted this headline and I said they are doing it again, right? Very simply, nothing else extra to it. other than they are doing it again, ladies and gentlemen. And I posted their headline, and people obviously have a lot of opinions about this. What about those of us who have spent 30 plus years playing violent video games and have never been in trouble? One may never know. Valiant Renegade says the video games didn't radicalize him to go and try and kill law enforcement agents. I agree. Homer Omarmada says that I'm about to do all the math on the hours I've poured into violent video games. I bet I have this dude beat. I think we all do, honestly, at this point. This guy was only playing for a few years. He only had 34 games on his Steam account. He was clearly only invested in a couple of games, and usually they're the ones that are the easiest to access, cheap, free to play, whatever, so it's not that big of a deal. Metatron says, for fuck's sakes. Jay Viper says they will always attack video games because it's convenient to understand for the ill-informed, the target audience for the media. I agree. Stevie says it's so idiotic they attack gaming like this. How many people who play Animal Crossing become farmers, I wonder? That's a damn good question. I'm sure we're never going to get the answer, but that's a damn good question. Yes, and I play Cyberpunk 2077 daily, and I never do the trans love mission. What am I missing? So again, guys, at this point, exactly, they're always looking for scapegoats. They always are looking for scapegoats because for them, it is just the easiest thing to do. It requires minimal effort. These people are grasping at straws. They're literally complaining about the fact that he had a mind-blown emoji attached to his profile. What the fuck are we doing? Like, what does any of this has to do? Why did you even bother screenshot it satisfactory? What is that supposed to prove? I don't really know. So in any case, this story just proves that unfortunately, you guys, like I said before in many different videos and many different streams, we are at the point where they're back again, right? The people are back again. They're back again blaming video games. They're back again trying to blame video games for everything that's going wrong in the world. If we just ban video games, everything would be fine. It's back. It's back. It never left, to be fair, but now it's back more than ever after the assassination of Charlie Kirk because these losers cannot let a tragedy go to waste. They could just never do it. They never could do it. They always got to do the same playbook every single time. So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this whole situation regarding supposedly violence, violent video games causing violence and all this stupid shit? Whatever the case would be, let me know what you think about the story. And like I said, it's going everywhere. Daily Mail has it. New York Post has it. I didn't even get the other links, but there's multiple journalist websites out there that are all reporting the same thing. They're all currently attacking video games right now. You can Google it. I'm sure you'll find it. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about all this? Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, consider hitting that like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.